Well, hello there. I am excited to show off my new pencil case that I just received from my mother in law. And I have to say, I am superbly and extremely excited about it. She sewed it herself, and it is exactly made to order, I guess is what you'd say. So, first of all, I want to note the important thing for me about a good pencil case is has to do with the size, because you're not going to just have one pencil case. Of course, you're going to have several pencil cases, and this one is exactly the right size to fold up and throw in a day bag, or to go study at a coffee shop or at the library, however you're going to do it. There's different ones maybe you'd use on an airplane or for another purpose, which is again why it's so fun to collect so many things. And I thought it'd be fun to do a little tour of this adorable pencil case, which again, my favorite thing about it is the color scheme that she chose. I love the green kind of tartan look, and she just does so great at matching colors. But also do a quick tour of the pencils that it has. So notice it opens with this nice snap, nice and secure there, snap on, snap off. And then as you open it, it starts with this really fun little pouch, which actually in and of itself could be a pencil case or a pencil pouch. So it's kind of a fun usage of space. But what I always find with these kinds of pouches is that I'm, digging around for the pencil that I want, or it just feels like they're all banging together in there, which isn't a respectful way to treat your pencils, in my opinion. But spot here for, a good little small portable pencil sharpener, or a knife to sharpen pencils, a little ruler, and an edge, a top eraser in case you're using a pencil that doesn't have one, and a nice little pink pearl. Might put some other odds and ends in there as I go on, but it certainly does seem like exactly the thing. Love the good satisfying zip of the zipper, and there's even an interesting kind of pocket back here as well, which you kind of can't see, but a little pocket back here for perhaps some other mini notebook. I'm gonna try to get to see if I can fit a mini notebook in there, but I bet because I can fit one almost anywhere. Then it opens up into this lovely kind of tartaned look on the inside, and it's got the tip guard or the pencil guard. Here, I've got them mostly in eraser up, but I thought it'd be fun to take a dive into the sorts of pencils that I like to carry around when I have the opportunity. And so first we've got the Three Wise Men from the world of Bic. I know it's basic, but I just love Bic pencils. Or pens. They always perform. They're there. Having a red, blue, and black is always helpful. If you lend them out and they get stolen or taken, no big loss. And yet they're consistent. They work, and it just never hurts me to have black, blue, and red around. Next are my Indian and Japanese pencils, mostly Indian, which I absolutely have come to love, starting with this Apsara Absolute. It's dark, writes beautifully. It has a big, fat core in it that I find writes just so well, and it's fun to write with. It literally has a great experience. Again, it says extra dark. It is extra dark, and it's great. The next one is a maybe a more finely tuned instrument. It's the Mitsubishi 9800, and it's HB, which I absolutely adore. HB is, obviously very middle of the road and useful and everything, but again, um, the gold foil stamp is beautiful, and I just always find this pencil really satisfying. Another on the dark side, the Nataraj. I've written a 621. I've done a whole review of this one and have just found these to be really consistent, reliable, and again, dark. And I love that. Be bold. Just the idea that it's telling you, giving you a little bit of an exhortation along with it. And finally, my favorite of the bunch is the Doms. Again, another Indian pencil, extra super dark, X1, the extra super dark. And it is extra super dark. It writes well, it sharpens well. Of course, it's not cedar, but it's told it's for beautiful handwriting. And anything that has such a high aspirations as to want beautiful handwriting is certainly a friend to me. So I found to have one of these around, each of these around, is constantly helpful because you never know what you're going to be exactly in the mood for, whether that sounds silly or not. I always keep around some colored pencils, and that's where I love these Musgrave Hermitage or Hermitage. They are very nice. There's actually all the colors. I have all the colors, but I always carry around blue and green because I also have the red, which we'll talk about in a moment. But these are great pencils to have around for writing, highlighting, coloring, underlining in books, just drawing some extra attention to things. So the 515 thin green and the 520 thin blue are two that are just always around, along with, I discovered this at my local Daiso, which is a sort of a Japanese store. These correction pencils or correcting pencils, they are a really fun, I think it's cerulean and Prussian blue, vermilion and Prussian blue. And so I actually went through an entire year or entire read through of a certain Bible translation, just using this to highlight, having the variety of blue and red to do kind of good and bad or whatever. Things that are negative commands, don't do this, or positive thoughts, whatever it is. It was enough variety to kind of add interest to my usual pencil habit of making notes and marks in Bibles. Then comes 4 of these. I think of these as my old standby. They're not like my favorite pencil, but they're one of the best, most solid schoolwork pencils that I've ever encountered. They're the Bostitch Classic Yellow Cedar. It's 2HB. It's a real cedar pencil. It smells good. It smells better than some others that are claiming to be cedar, that are cedar for sure, but as they've written it. But this actually has the full cedar experience to me, and you can buy these. They're available. They're expensive. They're beautiful. The kind of matte finish, the way that it's drawn together. I mean, I can't get enough of these pencils. Every time I worry that they're going to change something about them, I go and buy another gross of them, 120 or so. So this is another set of kind of old reliables, things I want to have around all the time, faithfully, no matter where I am. Might find myself, but I need to resharpen those because that's the factory sharpen, and I prefer the long point sharpen. Now, what I'm calling the fun category comes next. This is one from the Musgrave Pencil Company celebrating America's 250th birthday. They've actually got 2 sets, and I've got another. This is the red, white, and blue. They come in red, white, and blue. It's a Ceres, and it's a great pencil as well. But this is a fun one. I really don't know much about this pencil in terms of what it is skinned over, I guess. But I mean, Musgrave is without a doubt the top pencil producer in my heart. If not forever, objectively so. So this is a fun celebration of patriotism and American history, and just got a couple boxes of those and just want to carry them around. And this likewise is the Ceres, which is a similar series, also in that patriotic 250 series. You can tell there on the Musgrave series. I'm more prone to like hex pencils than I am to like round pencils, but it doesn't mean I have a prejudice against round pencils. And now, thanks very much to Mamo, I must have some Tri-Rex, because these fantastic Moon Products pencils I would not know about were it not for him, and because of him, I do know them, and they are, fantastically shaped. I have both the erasered and non-erasered version. I think the only difference between, I need to sharpen this one up, but it doesn't fit in my standard sharpener. My standard sharpener is having trouble with it, so I need to get a fresh sharpen on that. But these two, the B23 and the B46-2, are daily carries for me. Always want to have those around and about and available. Oops, come on, we're fighting with something at the bottom there. And then my super premium section comes next. And the first in my super premium section is another Musgrave modern one, and it is the Songwriter. I believe it's a softer kind of 4B 12. The number is the 12. The serial number is the 1213. But rounded, again, not my preference, but I still love it. I love the color. I love the idea that we're producing pencils with the goal of writing music. As a musician, I celebrate that even just in concept, even if I would be hard-pressed to find out what kind of pencil would most suit a songwriter objectively. I sure love the beauty of the concept, and I know Palomino has a similar one, or Blackwing has a similar one. Next is another pencil that I always want to keep around, which is a Unigraph, which is another Musgrave 4B. That softer artist lead is fun for when you want to do some sketching. And wow, I find that the foil often rubs off on these, maybe because it's just the way that I write, and you kind of tend to hold it in non-traditional ways, and the oils in your hands maybe draw that off. But I have these tipped and non-tipped. I keep quite a few of them around because it's my favorite sketching pencil, and I like to sketch. But the ferrule, it's funny, on a drawing pencil, I'd far rather not have a ferrule and eraser, but I ordered them with it just because I think it looks so handsome with it. So it's nice to have both around in that case as well. Now, the number one pencil in all of my little universe is, come on now, the Tennessee Red Cedar. I love this pencil. I could almost, if would be my desert island pencil, I would forsake all others. If I only had to choose one, this would be the one pencil I would choose. It's just, to me, the perfect pencil. The smell, the colors, the look, that natural finish, everything about it is just so premium and so beautiful. And again, the only reason I don't only write with these is because I don't want to take it for granted. And of course, they're a little bit more expensive, but I'm not going through so many pencils that's like a registers on my bottom line. And quite frankly, my addiction to variety within that context is probably a bigger problem than I'd like to admit. So, and then finally, just for funsies, I'm a member. My wife got me a subscription to the volumes package, so I've been getting these fun ones. Last one was a brown square pencil that was kind of meant to be reminiscent of a carpenter's pencil for that purpose, and this is in reference to the old days of television. And so this is kind of that thing, the signal that you would see go on when the programming stopped at the end of a day. If you could ever remember when that happened, you must be old like me. But it's been a fun pencil, a nice pencil. They're always going harder rather than softer with these volumes. I wish they'd go softer because I prefer softer, darker lead, but it still performs well. I've got another one here on my desk that I always keep about. And this is great. I got to put this one in this way because that eraser, that Custer signature Blackwing eraser, will never do otherwise. And so you see, I'm ready to travel, to go to the coffee shop. I'm ready to go to the library. I'm ready to go to work. I am ready to go to church and study, and I've got all the pencils I need. So a huge thank you to my wonderful and loving mother-in-law, Ellen, for making this work of art. And thank you for being here and being a part of this little tour through a delightful new piece of stationery gear that it's fun to share with all of you. I hope you're all having a blessed day and that you also are enjoying the practice of writing.